The Lost Codex of Nikola Tesla. Echoes from the Ether. Opening hook. Dramatic music swells. Faint static crackles over archival footage of stormy skies and flickering lab lights. A shadowy figure pours over yellowed pages in a dimly lit archive. In the shadowed vaults of a forgotten New York archive, a sealed envelope lay, undisturbed for decades, stamped with the insignia of a 1930s publishing house, its contents branded confidential, not for release. Inside, a suppressed transcript of Nikola Tesla's final unfiltered interview, conducted at age 74, just 12 years before his death. This document, buried amid corporate rivalries and institutional fears, reveals not just the inventor's blueprints for wireless power, but his radical meditations on consciousness, transcending the grave. A vision so disruptive it was silenced to protect the era's fragile scientific orthodoxy. What if Tesla didn't just split the atom or harness cosmic rays? What if he unlocked the immortality of the mind itself? Transition. Screen fades to sepia-toned images of Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, crumbling under neglect as a narrator's voice deepens with intrigue. Nikola Tesla, the visionary Serbian-American inventor born in 1856, was no mere tinkerer of wires and waves. By the dawn of the 20th century, he had electrified the world, literally pioneering alternating current that lit America's cities, while his Colorado Springs experiments saturated the atmosphere with unprecedented energy fields. Yet for all his triumphs, Tesla's later years were marred by obscurity. Investors withdrew support amid economic turmoil, and whispers of his unstable ideas, leaving unfinished towers and unpublished manuscripts locked away. This 1930 interview, unearthed only recently from a journalist's private effects, was overlooked, perhaps deliberately, because it veered into forbidden territory. Not just technological miracles, but the philosopher's quest for eternal consciousness. Conducted in a modest hotel room overlooking Manhattan's skyline, it captures Tesla at his most vulnerable, grappling with mortality as his health waned and patrons faded. Core revelation. Cut to reenactment. Dimly lit room. Tesla pacing with a notebook. Journalists scribbling notes. Subtle ether-like glows flicker in the background. The transcript begins abruptly, as if the journalist, sensing Tesla's guarded demeanor, plunged straight into the heart of the unseen. "Mr. Tesla," the reporter ventured, "your rivals speak of harnessing the atom, shaking the earth with man-made quakes. But what of the energies beyond? Those weaving through the ether, invisible to our instruments. Have you touched something eternal?" Tesla paused, his eyes distant, fingers tracing invisible patterns in the air. "Ah, the ether," he murmured, his voice a low rumble like distant thunder. "It is no myth, no relic of outdated physics. Earth, air, water, they pulse with this vital force, a boundless reservoir I first tapped in my laboratories. In Colorado, I saturated the ground with electricity, drawing forth harmonies from the soil itself, energies of peace, love, and joy, buried deep like forgotten seeds. Mozart's symphonies, Bach's fugues, they carry psychic vibrations we can amplify, just as flowers exhale healing essences, and sunlight could one day nourish our bodies directly. Life manifests in infinite forms, and the scientist's duty is to unveil them, no matter the matter concealing them." But the revelation deepened as Tesla leaned forward, his words laced with defeat. "I feel the weight of incompletion," he confessed. "I envisioned a second sun to illuminate the globe, free energy for all. Yet humanity recoils unprepared for such truth. The universe is laced with strands of undiscovered power, invisible threads binding stars and souls. Astronomers now call it dark energy, the cosmic force defying gravity, propelling expansion. I glimpsed it nearly a century ago, but my manuscripts were shelved, suppressed by those fearing its implications. The journalist pressed, "Implications for what, sir? For reality itself?" Tesla's response crackled with intensity. Underscore, underscore, quote, underscore nine, underscore, underscore, philosophical slash psychological expansion. Slow zoom on Tesla's face in reenactment, intercut with abstract visuals of swirling energies, neural patterns, and fading silhouettes. Music builds existential tension. As the evening wore on, the conversation twisted into psychological depths, Tesla's frail frame belying the fire in his gaze. He spoke of his solitary existence, no wife, no heirs, finding communion only in isolation, observing the world's hidden rhythms. The journalist, probing contradictions in his public lectures, asked, "You once dismissed matter as inert, yet now you say all is energy. How do we reconcile this?" Tesla's explanation unfolded like a suppressed theorem, drawn from notes he clutched tightly. Quote 11, quote he began, quote 12, quote here. Tesla's doubts surfaced raw, a scientist's mind wrestling philosophical shadows. He questioned reality's fabric. "I've calculated a star in our galaxy, its light so dense it vanishes like a swallowed sun, encased in an apple's volume, yet heavier than Sol and her worlds. Such paradoxes mock our senses, urging us toward consciousness unbound. Religions, philosophies, they are human scaffolds, insignificant against the cosmos. Yet in silence, at century's dawn, such words were heresy, fit only for locked drawers." The interview's undercurrent pulsed with death's shadow. Tesla, nearing his end, reflected on the mind's fragility amid his grand designs. Teleportation promised to investors, earthquake devices shelved in fear. Quote 14, he lamented. Quote 15, smooth transition, visuals shift to ethereal, light-piercing darkness, symbolizing transition to the unknown. In this overlooked dialogue, Tesla's vision extends further into territories his era deemed madness. He hinted at energies that could activate the self, dissolving the boundary between perceiver and perceived, echoing suppressed ideas from his unpublished journals on symbolic death, the ego's surrender to universal flow. Additional speculative reflection, pause for emphasis, screen shows faint neural webs merging with cosmic voids. Speculating beyond his recorded words, one wonders if Tesla foresaw consciousness as a persistent waveform, echoing post-mortem through the ether like radio signals lingering after the transmitter fades. In death, might our awareness refract into that primal light, reforming not as ghosts, but as integral pulses in the cosmos's grand symphony? This aligns with his etheric pursuits, energy neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. Closing. Music crescendos to a haunting resolve, final image of Tesla vanishing into starry ether. Screen fades to black with archival stamp. Suppressed transcript, 1930. As the transcript ends mid-thought, Tesla gazing at the night sky, murmuring of strands yet to weave, we are left adrift. Did the inventor who lit the world glimpse the afterlife switchboard forever dimmed by fear? Or does his ether hum still waiting for us to tune in? In the shadowed vaults of a forgotten New York archive, a dusty reel of audio from 1930 surfaced last year, suppressed for decades by interests that feared its implications. This is the voice of Nikola Tesla, unfiltered, speaking to a journalist on the brink of his own isolation. What he revealed about the universe's hidden energies, consciousness beyond death, and the electric threads binding all life could rewrite everything we know. But why was it buried? And what lost revelations did Tesla guard until the end? Nikola Tesla, the visionary inventor whose alternating current electrified the modern world, was no stranger to genius laced with controversy. Born in 1856 in what is now Croatia, he arrived in America in 1884 with little more than his mind and a poem from his mother. By the 1930s, at age 74, Tesla lived reclusively in a New York hotel. His once grand laboratories dismantled. His patents wrested away by rivals like Edison. This interview, conducted by a persistent journalist in a dimly lit room overlooking the Hudson, was meant for a major publication. Yet it vanished, overlooked amid corporate pressures and Tesla's growing reputation as an eccentric. Whispers suggest industrialists, fearing his warnings on unchecked technology, ensured it never saw print. Buried in an unmarked crate, the transcript lay dormant, a relic of a mind that peered into realms science still struggles to map. At the heart of this lost recording lies Tesla's core revelation. Death is an illusion, a mere reconfiguration of eternal energy. Remember, he told the journalist, his eyes distant as if tuning into invisible frequencies, no one who has ever lived has truly died, for energy is eternal. He wove this into his vision of the cosmos, building on his unpublished notes from the 1890s, manuscripts locked away after his Wardenclyffe Tower project collapsed, dreams of wireless power deemed too radical. Tesla saw the universe not as a mechanical clockwork, but as an infinite symphony of light and electricity. Matter, he insisted, emerges from a primary, eternal energy we call light, the same force that birthed stars, planets, and humanity itself. Everything is electricity, he declared, with a faint smile when pressed. From that infinite source, matter arose, forming the diverse tapestry of life on Earth. Even blackness, he mused, is the true face of light unseen, a gift holding nuclear, radioactive, chemical, mechanical, and undiscovered potentials within a single particle, enough to sway the Earth's very orbit. As the conversation deepened, Tesla unraveled the philosophical doubts that haunted his unpublished research. He questioned the boundaries of reality, positing that consciousness itself is not confined to the body, but woven from these electric currents. Religions, he noted, echo this truth. From nothingness sprang everything, birthed by a divine light, God as infinite energy, indifferent to human dramas like karma, sins, or judgment. Quote, 22, he said, his voice steady yet laced with the weight of isolation. Death, in his view, dissolves like a wave returning to the ocean. We transition states endlessly, never born, never extinguished. You have always existed, he emphasized. Your essence an unbroken thread in the cosmic weave. This wasn't mysticism to Tesla. It was physics unmasked, drawn from experiments with high-voltage coils that blurred the line between matter and ether. Yet his suppressed manuscripts, rumored to detail consciousness as electromagnetic resonance, were confiscated after his death in 1943, fueling speculation that governments buried them to control the narrative of human potential. The psychological intrigue intensified as Tesla delved into cosmic pain, a concept from his overlooked lectures that gripped the journalist like a live wire. Many remain blind to this force, he explained, a subtle torment rippling through the interconnected field of life, spawning illnesses, poverty, wars, and unseen horrors. It is impossible to eradicate entirely, Tesla admitted, his tone grave, but recognizing it dulls the edge. He spoke of personal anguish. Whenever a loved one suffered, he felt it physically, as if their pain arced through him via invisible threads. Our bodies, forged from similar atomic stuff, link souls in a vast, unseen network. A child's cry in a distant land, the passing of a virtuous soul. These echo as visceral stabs, amplified by vanishing stars or streaking comets. Emotions and thoughts, Tesla revealed, fortify these bonds. They heal or harm in equal measure. Drawing from his philosophical doubts about reality, he portrayed the universe as a grand, interdependent machine where every action ignites chains of consequence. Not superpowers, but profound causality. Evil, he believed, could be stemmed not by force, but by unyielding kindness. Quote, _26 wars, even those cloaked in justice or liberty, shatter lives irreparably. Peaceful resolution, he urged, is humanity's safeguard as progress accelerates, though his optimism clashed with the era's gathering storms. Transitioning from these earthly ties, Tesla expanded into the mind's uncharted depths, his words evoking the suppressed interviews where he confessed doubts about the soul's machinery. Consciousness, he pondered, arises from vibrations in the ether, electric harmonies that persist beyond the flesh. This leads to a speculative reflection he hinted at but never fully documented. What if, after death, our awareness scatters as resonant patterns in the cosmic field, reforming in distant realms like echoes in a wireless broadcast? Well, such a notion, aligned with his wireless energy dreams, suggests not oblivion, but an eternal relay, our thoughts broadcasting into the void, awaiting reunion with the infinite light. As the interview faded into the New York night, Tesla's final thoughts lingered like a fading signal. The scientific revolutions of the 20th century were mere preludes to the 21st's boundless leaps in medicine, space, and the very fabric of being. Yet aggression endures, veiling progress in shadow. Was Tesla's vision of interconnected peace a blueprint we ignored at our peril? Or does his hidden archive whisper that consciousness itself holds the key to transcending it all? Eternal, electric, and waiting to be tuned.